Hi. I interviewed 3 teachers for this project, and I feel like I really learned a lot from each of them. All 3 of them had been teaching for quite some time, at least 15 years or more, so I feel like they really had a lot of advice to offer for new teachers. Okay, so first I talked to Mrs. Hawks. She teaches both at the high school and collegiate level. She teaches English, and one of the best things that I got from talking with her is that she said to start out really strong with your classroom expectations. She told me that you can always back off as the year progresses, but you absolutely cannot go the other way. I feel like that makes a lot of sense. You definitely want to start out more stern, and that way your students know what their expectations are. It's really hard if you start out more lenient and then try to get more stern. She said that that wouldn't really work. She also said that students actually really like knowing what your expectations are and that it creates a more relaxed and confident environment. And I wouldn't have even thought about that, but I really agree with her and think that that makes a lot of sense. She also said to really know your material, study your lessons before you teach. For me, teaching science, this makes a lot of sense. That's something that I am really focused on trying to do, just because science lessons tend to be really involved and you really have to know what you're talking about so that you can teach it well. She said to take notes of assignments that worked and those that did not. So know what worked for you, what didn't work for you, so that you know what to use in the future, and that you can't help your students succeed unless you really know the material yourself, which is kind of intimidating in the science field. But she said that things will get easier and easier with each new year. Okay. So second, I talked to Mrs. Albert. She also teaches English in high school. She had a lot of really great advice as well. She really stressed that the most important thing for first year teachers is building relationships. And she said that that doesn't only apply to your students, but also to your students' parents and to all of your workplace relationships, your fellow teachers, the principal, basically just everyone who you're going to be coming in contact with. It's really important to focus on those relationships so that you have a good environment. She also mentioned that things like sending good notes home to the parents or just letting the students know what they're doing well, giving them some praise, some advice, and doing positive relationship building things like that will really help build trust so that when you do have criticism for them or punishments, consequences, it'll come across a lot better if you already have been building that positive relationship with them. She also said don't be afraid to ask for advice from your fellow teachers. They've been doing it longer. They probably have a lot of really good things to offer you, so she told me to go ahead and just take advantage of that as much as you can and don't be afraid to ask for advice. She also said that the first year is really hard. You're going to be exhausted, but don't give up. And she said that even though it's really tough and you're going to be tired, you will grow and experience the joys that only teaching can bring. And remind yourself that the next year will be better. Okay. Lastly, I talked to Mrs. Johnson. She teaches middle school and high school and has been doing that for a long time. And right off the bat, the first thing that she told me was to ask for God's help every day. She said that there have been a lot of situations in her classes where she really didn't have the answers, she wasn't sure what to do, and just taking that second to pause and pray, you never know what kind of solutions He's going to give you. She also told me to remember that you'll never be perfect. You can strive all you want, but some things are just not going to work out, and that's okay. And you just have to do your best and try to get better each day. She also said that your goal is to make students feel safe first and foremost, and that they're going to learn more and more as they begin to trust you. Lastly, she told me not to focus so much on all of the cutesy classroom stuff. She said that cute classrooms are just that, they're cute. And while that can be fun to do, and if you have the time, that's definitely great to work on, but she said don't focus too much on that aspect, especially in your first year. She said that the classrooms that give love, acceptance, and joy are going to be the classrooms that the students really remember and really get the most out of. And I wanted to end with that piece of advice because that's the thing that I really want to implement from day one. I don't want to focus on all of the cutesy stuff that you see on Pinterest and all of the cute classroom ideas. And while I definitely want to include some of that, I don't want that to be my main focus. I want to make sure that I am trying my best every day to give that love and acceptance to each of the students so that they're going to have a good year.